Hey everyone and welcome back to the channel. First things first, what does P0304 actually mean? Let's decode it. The P stands for powertrain, which covers the engine, transmission, and all the related components. The 0 indicates it's a generic code, meaning it's the same across all vehicle manufacturers. The 3 tells us the issue is within the ignition system, and the last 2 digits, 04, point us directly to the problem's location. Cylinder number 4. So, putting it all together, P0304 means your car's computer has detected a misfire in cylinder number 4. But what is a misfire? Simply put, a misfire happens when the fuel and air mixture in a cylinder fails to ignite properly. Think of your engine as a team of rowers. Each cylinder is a rower, and they all need to pull in perfect sync to move the boat forward smoothly. When one rower, in this case, cylinder 4, stops pulling or pulls out of sync, the whole boat starts to jerk and lose speed. That's exactly what's happening in your engine. You'll likely feel it as a noticeable shake or shudder, especially when you're idling at a stoplight or trying to accelerate. Your car might feel weak, hesitate, and your fuel economy will definitely take a nosedive. So, now that we know what's happening, let's figure out why. The vast majority of the time, a P0304 code is caused by a problem in the ignition system. It's the classic no spark scenario. The most common culprit is a worn-out spark plug. Over time, the electrodes on a spark plug wear down, creating a gap that's too wide for the spark to jump across effectively. Another frequent offender is a faulty ignition coil, or, on older cars, a bad spark plug wire. The coil is responsible for generating the high voltage needed to create the spark. And if it fails, cylinder 4 gets no spark at all. To diagnose this, the process is pretty straightforward. First, visually inspect the spark plug and ignition coil for cylinder 4. You're looking for any obvious signs of damage, like cracks in the coil housing or heavy carbon buildup on the spark plug. A great diagnostic trick is to swap the ignition coil from cylinder 4 with another cylinder, let's say cylinder 3. Clear the codes, start the engine, and drive it for a bit. If the code changes to P0303, which points to cylinder 3, you've just confirmed that the ignition coil is the problem. It's a simple, effective way to pinpoint the faulty part without just throwing new parts at the problem. If the code stays P0304, then the coil is likely fine, and you should move on to the spark plug. If you've checked the spark plug and coil and they seem okay, or if you've replaced them and the misfire is still there, it's time to look at the fuel system. A misfire can also happen if the cylinder isn't getting the right amount of fuel. The prime suspect here is a clogged or failing fuel injector on cylinder A. Over time, tiny deposits can build up inside the injector, restricting fuel flow. In some cases, the injector might be stuck open or closed. You can test this by listening to the injector with a mechanic's stethoscope or a long screwdriver. A healthy injector makes a distinct, rhythmic clicking sound. If cylinder 4's injector is silent or sounds different from the others, it might be the cause of your P0304. While less common, there are a few other potential causes to keep in mind. A vacuum leak near cylinder 4's intake runner can lean out the air-fuel mixture, causing a misfire. You can check for this by spraying a bit of brake cleaner or carburetor cleaner around the intake manifold gasket while the engine is running. If the engine RPM changes, you've found your leak. In more serious, and thankfully rarer, cases, P0304 could be caused by mechanical engine problems, like low compression due to a worn piston ring, a bad valve, or even a damaged head gasket. A compression test is the next logical step if you've ruled out spark and fuel. This test will tell you if the cylinder is able to hold pressure, which is essential for proper combustion. So, to recap the fix, start with the easiest and most common solutions. Swap that ignition coil. If the code follows the coil, replace it. If not, replace the spark plug in cylinder 4. They are inexpensive and a regular maintenance item anyway. If the problem persists, investigate the fuel injector and check for vacuum leaks. And if all else fails, a compression test will help you determine if you're dealing with a more serious internal engine issue. Dealing with a P0304 code is totally manageable, and often, it's a simple fix you can do right in your own driveway. Taking a systematic approach will save you time, money, and a lot of frustration. Thanks for watching, and I hope this guide helps you get your car running perfectly again. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more car repair tips and tricks. See you in the next one.